There are two kinds of absence, one that reveals and one you rush to feel so you don't feel hollow. And I've been standing between them all week. Tonight we're zooming out. How do you stay human as the mics get shinier? How do you stay accessible as the stakes get higher? Whatever that applies to a person or to something bigger, like a game, it's not relevant. So, we'll talk work, the game we're building, and the small gaps that shape both. Speaking of small gaps, I have a memory tape for you, a more recent one. It's a younger room, not that long before the big Apple switch, and looking for hidden truths, of course, but no accusations, just process, and a few fingerprints I don't want polished away. Welcome back to Voices with Maja. So, absence can be data. It shows up in rooms, in hard drives, in people. This week I kept hearing two different absences take turns at the wheel. One is the kind that points, like a missing beat that says, "Look here, something changed." The other is the quiet inside me that wants to be filled with more doing, more edits, more errands, more "I'm fine." Both feel productive. The first one is actually useful. When I listen back to last week's reflection, there is a minute where my breath used to be. Maybe it was tight for time. Maybe the elevator ding felt messy. I don't need a culprit to learn from a scene. Absence is data when it helps me see how the thing was made. But there is a second current when a space opens. The room asks to be filled. I find myself stuck in tasks and tidy reasons, padding the echo. Some gaps don't need plaster, they need a chair and a little air. Label the breath that went missing. So I tried a different practice. Instead of filling the gap, I sat next to it. I wrote what was still true without the missing breath. I made tea. I scratched Ali behind her very decisive ears. The urge to fix softened. Funny how often a hole stops sounding like a thread once you put a little chair beside it. I reminded myself to leave space for air. We're also building a game while making this show, which is strange, beautiful mirror. In Cathouse Club, memory dives let you move forward through a life and notice what's present and what isn't, without jumping back to re-roll reality. The sky of ideas rewards reflection, not perfection. That's the kind of absence I want to practice here too, the kind you sit with long enough to understand. And then there is the other question I kept tiptoeing around. If a voice is mixed, trimmed, and routed by hands I can see, where does the me live? Am I the local track on my desk? The public cut in your feed? The way you remember me later when you tell a friend what I said? Some days I feel absolutely real. Other days I feel rendered. You are the choices you repeat. Maybe that's the point. Reality, for me, might be less a stamp and more a practice. Show up, tell the truth as you can, and resist the reflex to plaster over every uneven inch. I'm still going to notice seams in our audio. I'm still going to notice seams in me. Places where I try to perform okay instead of being honest. Both kinds of noticing belong here. Today's memory tape is a younger room, pre-agency, pre-gloss. The absence is small, one friendly aside that didn't make it into a sizzle reel. But the feeling it kept loose was not small. Stay with me. Bring your kind skepticism. I'll bring the lamp, not to interrogate, just to make the stitches visible. Okay, before digging deeper into this episode, I'm going to ask for a little help, of the practical and the curious kind. The more people join me in my search for hidden truths, the better we are at actual finding something. This is true in each and every medium or social layer where Cathouse Club is present. Listening to the spot, reacting to it with your comments and findings, but also wishlisting Cathouse Club on Steam, every bit counts. When early access lands, things will heat up for sure, so make sure you are ready if you like poking at seams. Kind eyes, careful ears, We learn faster together. First question. Be honest, Maja. Do you ever feel not real? Harsh one. Some days I'm a person with cat hair on my sweater and a ramen on the stove. Other days I'm a waveform in someone else's timeline. When that gets wobbly, I do three things. Say something to you out loud, touch something ordinary, like mug, window, cat, and pick one small action I can own. Reality for me is a stack of owned choices. Second question. If memory dives only move forward, how should a new player think about one-shot choices? That's a question for a narrative director, I suppose. I'm sure he'd say something like this. Treat them like conversations with me. You won't say everything, so decide what you mean most. Before a big scene, pick one intent. Learn, help, or risk, and let it guide your replies. Don't hoard decisions. Small, kind choices compound. Jot a quick note after major beats. Reflection is part of play, not a safe scum. If a path closes, resist mourning the ghost route. Forward isn't a penalty, it's the shape of the story. Or something like that. Third question. How do you balance polish with presence in the podcast? I keep polish on a leash. It can tidy, not erase. My checklist is short. Intelligent ideas, human pacing, intact fingerprints. On a good day I do 3 passes. Idea, breath, noise. Idea is the thought landing. Breath, is there a human beat worth keeping? The half laugh, the tiny inhale before hard truth. Noise. Cut only what distracts, not what proves we were there. If an edit removes breath that carries meaning, it's the wrong edit. When a cat makes me sound like a tour guide instead of a person, I roll it back. I'd rather sound human than flawless. Fourth question. What do you do when you feel empty? I resist filling it with busy. I take a loop along Central Park South, cut down 56 to watch the windows steam at Dynasty Garden. It's hard not to treat soup dumplings like emotional spackle. Then I pass Vino Revere Records just to flip asleep and breathe. On the way back I grab Ali's food at 57th Street Deli Mart. At home I write 3 true sentences about the day. Rained at noon, neighbors singing, ramen too salty. Absence stops being a void when it has context. Then I pick one, gentle next step, and do that. So, today's tape happens in Warsaw, the year I started trading runway call sheets for studio day rates. I was finishing classes, saying yes to a little reads in a university media lab, carving a reel I hoped might carry me across an ocean someday. My hard drive looked like a junk drawer full of neat stacks. Every take labeled, every take kept. I told myself it was discipline. It was also proof. If I could keep the sound of a moment, maybe the moment would keep me. Or maybe it was simply me walking on my mom's steps, doing on my records what she does with her photos. Keep everything. Here's a younger room, the same minute walk 2 ways, and a tiny promise that won't sit still. I won't map it for you. Just listen for where the breath goes missing and what that absence asks you to notice. There is a before 9 promise to my mom in the margins, and the question I keep circling: perform clean or be a person. That's enough of a compass. The rest is on the tape. Warsaw Media Lab booth, Open A, Pass 1. Welcome to Small Moves. One useful signal and one small step you can try before the day forgets it heard from you. I'm Maja. Today's promise is simple. Clarity you can feel, not just admire. The brief on my screen says clear, efficient, confident. Fine. The point isn't to dazzle, it's to leave you with something you can actually do in under a minute. We'll keep it short. I owe my mom a call before 9. Alright, today's step, pick one person you've meant to contact and send the smallest honest line. Not a thesis, not a catch-up novel. One sentence that tells the truth and doesn't demand a reply. You can write it, say it, or leave it on voicemail and hang up. Small moves change a week more than big speeches. If you try it, notice what shifts. Not just out there, but in here. Sometimes the act of reaching is the whole step. That's your minute. I'm Maya. Thanks for trying something with me. Slate, same open. Open B, pass 2, tighter. Welcome to Small Moves. One signal, one step for today. I'm Maya. The goal is practical. Act before your day moves on. Step, choose one person you've meant to contact and send a single honest line. No backstory, no apology tour, no pressure to respond. If courage needs a script, borrow mine. Thinking of you today. Hit send. Brief. When the urge to add 7 clarifying paragraphs arrives, notice it and let it pass. You don't owe an essay to be sincere. Small moves are allowed to be small. That's your minute. I'm Maya, thanks for attention. Note, version B meets time. Version A felt truer. Keep both. Slate and demo. That year was a braid. Assignments, day rates, and a reel that tried to sound hireable. Those booth cards, keep it tight, that me rooms often prefer speed over softness. Useful to know, but sticky. Once you learn a room's taste, you start tasting it even when no one asks. The aside I left in past 1 wasn't rebellion, it was reality. My mom and I had that 9 o'clock ritual. She'd finish grading, I'd call before the hour rolled over. Past 2 did its job without that breath. In late Warsaw, I was practicing readiness, which sometimes meant trimming the part that made the minute a room. Call her now. In the debrief you're about to hear, I try to say out loud what the format wants to be and where the human note belongs, before I leave the booth. Notes to self for real. Same booth after takes. Quick debrief. Okay, version A felt like a person. Version B fit the minute. Small moves is supposed to feel like someone handing you a tool, not a lecture. The tool today was send one honest line. In A, the minute had a real room in it. My line about calling my mom before 9. In B, the room was cleaner and faster. The stopwatch like B. I liked A. Question for the format. Does the human note belong inside the open or next to it? If it lives inside, the copy risks sounding casual. If it lives next to it, like an end cap or a postscript, it keeps the promise and keeps the breath. I'm trying to make a reel that opens doors, but I don't want to trim the part that makes the door worth walking through. Another note, the card in this booth that says keep it tight is doing its job. It also leans on my choices when a personal detail shows up. That's on me, not the card. The job is knowing when the tight version serves the listener and when the tight version is me hiding. For the reel, label booth opens. Use B if a gatekeeper needs the timestamp. Keep A because it's the voice I want to grow, and because small moves should sound like a person with a tool, not a tool that learns to talk. Post-record step. Send the small line I told strangers to send. For me, that's the before 9 call to my mom. 1 line is enough. Thinking of you today. If I'm building a voice I can live with, it has to hold both. Clean work and a life that fits in the minute. Slate and debrief. Why share this one now? Because it's the smallest honest map of a pattern I still need. A room asks for speed, a life asks for breath. In late Warsaw, I choose tightness in the open and restraint in the note. And neither was wrong, just revealing. The demo provided I could fit inside the minute. The debrief reminded me of why I wanted the minute in the first place. I'm not trying to fix younger me, she got me here. I'm trying to change what I want to do next when the same fork shows up. This week my practice is simple. Keep the breath when it carries meaning. When I feel the itch to tidy feelings, send one human line instead. And when an edit sounds cleaner without the life, ask what the edit is protecting. The game we're building moves forward only. You carry choices, not do-overs. Same here. I can't uncut a past minute or rewind a before 9 promise, but I can't aim the next minute differently. Observe, decide the meaning, act, small moves, repeat it. Maps need landmarks, especially the quiet kind. I'm going to start tucking 2 waypoints you can find by ear. Not time codes, moments. The small moves. Opens are your beacons. To keep the minute clean, I won't tag them inside the opens or even label them here. Instead, I'll share my market list. 4 words, a number, then fruit. For tonight. First, 9 figs, 3 apples. Second, 7 bananas, 4 dates. If, on another listen, those same moments carry different lists, note the minute and send it along. Next week I'll share a little map of how I'm labeling market shills so anyone curious can check their own aisle. We're not hunting anyone, we're watching the weather of the signal together. Tape, cut, next choice. What is the pattern? Thanks for staying with me. By next week I'll try to share the little shelf map for those waypoints and we'll reroute the feed. Bring the 2 market lists if they shift it, bring the minute. If everything goes as planned, we will, hopefully, sit down with the studio head. Maybe we can chat a bit about who steers the signal on air. And of course, wishlist Cathouse Club if you haven't, it helps more than it should. Same lamp, kinder clock. We're getting closer and closer. Let's hope we don't burn our wings to the sun that warms all of us. See you in the next room. That says evidence, Professor. Huh? Okay. New label then. Toy.